So we were it was very interesting today. I don't know what this is doing here, but but it's there, and I haven't quite got it perfectly right. I've changed some more settings on my camera because, well, I can. Back up at the Wirksworth Festival today. I was having a walk around some of the other exhibitions, and one of the main exhibitors was One of the main exhibitors was a woman, an artist called Liane Lang, and she had the main hallway, which was full of her sculptures, and one of those sculptures was a tombstone, which she had found in a bin or a skip, and rescued it, and then superimposed photographs on it. And it caught my eye because the outside of the stone was extremely worn and grimy, and you'd say it was quite dirty. And the imprints of the photos were spectacularly beautiful, and the lead lettering, there was every single piece of chiseled inscription in the marble work was inlaid with lead, so it was really detailed craftsmanship. Obviously back, I think the last date on the tombstone was 1970 something, but that tombstone had been there for a long time, and these pieces of stone were on a pedestal, and they, as you looked at the inside of the stones, or the side where it was broken, it was this beautiful white Carrara glittering marble. I mean, it was a stunning piece. And so there weren't that many people there, and she was talking to another artist, a sculptor, and then she came over and we started talking. I said, "Oh, that looks like Carrara Marble." And she said, yeah. She said, "It is. How do you know that?" And I said, "Oh, I used to live in Carrara." And she said, that she studied in Pietrasanta, which is just up the road from, it's between Carrara and Forte, but kind of if you go in towards the mountain. And the town is called, basic translation would be Pietro, which is stone, and Santa, which is saint, so the saint's stone. And there's a huge amount of art and galleries in that little town. In fact, I used to go there with my dive club, and we would sit out in the piazzas in the squares, and they would have huge festivals up there, and you'd go and have a pizza or a beer and a wander or some wine, vinotecas, and it was just, it's a stunning piece of the world. It really is. But so that whole thing kind of captured my imagination for quite a while, and I stood there just staring at this piece of marble and reminiscing about Italy and all the beautiful things that it has, and how it really captures your soul, because it's just, everything is it's intricately evolving in your thoughts on what was and where you were, and suddenly this one piece of marble can almost transport you back there in a split second. And I'm standing back in the square, and I'm going like, oh my God, I can feel the cobble stone under my feet. And it was quite a it was a lovely moment. And she has some stunning work, lead sculpture, which she got from one of the local roofs in Wirksworth. Like one of the churches asked her if she wanted these pieces of lead, and she laughed and she went, "Yeah, I'll have a piece of lead. I'll make a sculpture out of it." And they turned up and delivered like these 2 huge sheets of lead, which each weigh like 80 something kilos and need 4 people to lift it. And she said to me, yeah, and sometimes my boyfriend says like, why can't you work with paper? Why can't you work with something lighter? And but she said, it's all, like, for me it's all stone, and the everything's inside the stone and the heavy objects, and I'm bringing it out. And I thought that was quite funny, because I suppose as you talk to each artist, that's exactly what it is that they find something within inside the medium, and then they try and transport it out for everybody to see what they can see. And it's an absolute labor of love, because you wouldn't do it unless you absolutely like wanted to throw your heart and soul and mind into it. There's no other way of describing that kind of affinity to art. I don't know what this message is. My camera's throwing up another fabulous message. Thank you, camera. You're doing a great job. I'm getting a new video card for this tomorrow. Hopefully in the post, a fast speed video card, which may or may not cure all my ills. However, we'll have to see. I also had some great coffee on the side of the road by a guy who basically roasts his own coffee and then like grinds it down there in front of you and makes some fantastic espresso. I will get his name up. It was Adrian something. I'll probably put that on my stream tomorrow and do a proper job of promoting his coffee. But he does all these little events, little and big events, I think, around the art scene and any of the festivals in Derbyshire. He's great, he's you walk past him and go, "Hi, how are you today?" And how would you like? Do you want to try the coffee? The coffee's great. He's so positive. It's like it's one of those little breaths of fresh air in a person, and his energy is like through the roof. It's quite amazing, because even though we'd walked around for maybe 2.5 hours. After I went back to him and I said, "Oh, would you be interested in coming on a live stream to talk about your coffee and how you built your company, and how you keep this whole positive persona thing going?" And he said, "Yeah, I'd love to do that. That'd be great." And he was just so happy to have a little conversation about like who he was and where he was and how he enjoyed getting up in the mornings in the summer and roasting coffee for his brand, And I was like, yeah, 4:30 in the morning, getting up, and you say the sun's rising, and then you get this, you can hear the lambs singing in the morning. out on this farm in the middle of nowhere, and I'm like, yeah, that's, that's not your typical office job, director of a company type of thing to do. Usually you're telling other people to do that sort of thing because you don't want to bother with that. But he obviously finds great energy in it, and we'll talk about. Hopefully he'll call me up and we'll have a chat, and we'll get his positive vibe, because he's just one of those people who has this great energy. And one of the things I'm kind of studying at the moment is how important you need to treat people, and he definitely has this kind of aura about him that everybody is the most important person at that moment in time. And it's such a great attitude, because we were at another little coffee van the other day, and the coffee was okay. I mean, it wasn't bad coffee. It was just one of the people serving had no intuition of, a smile or how are you or whatever. And I guarantee you that this guy's coffee tastes better simply because he puts that energy into it. And so when you're sipping the coffee, you're going like, wow, that's just great. What a good vibe. And it actually tastes better because you're in a better, you're in a better place because of this guy. He's talking to you and he's making you feel good. And I find those kind of people are people who can change the world, who can, give a little extra and go like, hey, I'm going to help you with that, or I'm going to give you the best cup of coffee you've tasted. I mean, this stuff I make is the best. It's like I go out and I roast it, and I roast it myself in the morning when the lambs are singing. It just creates that whole picture in your mind, and you're standing in the middle of a busy street drinking coffee, going like, I'm listening to the lambs singing in the morning, trying to figure out, I wonder how a lamb actually sings. I thought they went bleat, 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 or ba, 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 But obviously to this guy, they're singing. It's not the bird singing in the morning at 4:30 on a summer's morning. It's the lambs. And anybody who can I suppose transport you into that different transport you into their place of thought, or their world, creates that experience which is greater than just going into a shop and ordering a cup of coffee because you've got 10 minutes to drink a coffee. Suddenly you're thinking about like his world at 4 a.m. and you're going like, this is incredible. This is just and one of the things I did recently was I switched from sweetened coffee, so I gave up sugar, and I thought it was going to be really hard because I loved my spoon of brown sugar in my espresso coffee. I mean, I absolutely loved that taste. And then I decided I needed to give up sugar, so I quit sugar, and I thought, okay, well, I'll start putting sweeteners in my espressos. And I've started drinking a lot more espresso, and I use like my own espresso machine here in the house, and I buy Italian pre-macinato, which is pre-ground coffee. So your Pellegrinos or any of the good Italian brands. And so then I started putting sweeteners in because I was still addicted to the idea of having a sweetener or sweetening up my coffee. And then I remember I remember the Italians and my mum saying to me, saying like, you know, you should really try coffee without the sugar, Kieran, because it tastes much better after a while. She said it'll take you a few weeks, but it'll taste much better after a while. And I was like, okay. And I remember doing that, but I was smoking at the time, so I was smoking probably like 25 cigarettes a day, and I couldn't change over. And so this is really the first time that I've stopped taking sugar or any sweeteners in my coffee, and the taste is getting better and better and better in every sort of day that I'm making it. And like I would tell anybody now to definitely like quit the sugar, quit the sweeteners, taste the coffee, wake up and taste real coffee. It's amazing. It really is great. So I see I have my little what's it in the corner. Let's see if we can, my little that's doing that. Is that still doing that? That's still doing that, because that will take that out of there. I'm going to click on a few things here. Ooh. No, not that button there. No, and that doesn't do it either. That's weird, because it was, well, I suppose it was acting a little bit better the last time. So, yeah, and the other thing I was doing was I was standing like I was standing behind having my second coffee of the day from this guy, and he was emptying his coffee bin. So as you do your espresso coffee or whatever, and then you need to clean the oh god, what's it called? I can't remember in English or Italian. Yeah, you clean out the kind of the handle bowl that you put under to pour the water through. The coffee, what's it, majig? Yeah. So he had loads of coffee grounds, used coffee grounds, and I remember a Russian girl in Italy going into the coffee shops, and she asked me to translate, because she said she wanted the grounds, the freshly used ground coffee, to make a pulp to clean the skin, because in Russia all the best spas use this coffee pulp. And I was like, yeah, I should probably tell him about that he can sell it off to spas, you know, in Russia, because he was selling coffee, like he was selling good amounts of coffee, fair dues to him, but it was down to his, you know, positive attitude. And then he had a young girl there who was helping, and then she was talking to us about this other festival that's starting next week, which is the kind of wizards and all the stuff from Harry Potter, and like loads of people walking around in Harry Potter capes and Quidditch and playing, you know, all those sort of. And I thought, do you know what? This is a fantastic little town for people to experience a wealth of art and all these other things that the community puts together. So fair dues to Wirksworth for putting in that effort and becoming, because it becoming that sort of town, because it really opened my eyes to how much was going on in the place. And the amount of like the amount of houses that you kind of entered, and you could tell that these rooms had been rented out for like the weekend in a spectacular house, and it was given over to the artist who put up their whole display, and it was just, you know, it was gorgeous. It really was. It was I'd never kind of been to an event here in the UK of that kind of caliber, and I was really impressed. And I am going to put together some material and show you the little booklet that I got and the wristband, and try and go through and bring together some of the people who were at the event, because I found them really interesting, and I think that you guys will as well. Anyway, this was another kind of a trial run. I love the little square around my face. It tells me that I'm in frame. I think. I still haven't got rid of that. At least the other error message has stopped now, because I reset my camera. I am waiting on another card. I'm hoping that I can get some kind of software fix for this. And if anybody knows, please, it's a Canon M50, the first model. It's not the second model. If somebody knows how to fix this stuff on OBS, please leave a little comment in the description below, or maybe link a YouTube video. I've gone through about 15 of them now, and instead of doing like live streaming, I'm doing banging my head against a wall, because it kind of works for a minute and then reverts back to whatever it wants to, and it's like, okay, now you're becoming an entity of negativity. And I mean, I'm cool enough with it, but I don't think it's the best I can do, and I'd really like to put my whole sort of best effort in. So I'm going to stop the stream. I'm going to ask you guys to like and subscribe, because I don't ask enough people to subscribe. I was having a chat with my son, and I've got something like 220,000 views on my channel and 567 subscribers. So in sort of terms of ratio and stuff like that, it would be wonderful if people just clicked that subscribe button and went, there you go, Kieran, there's a little bit of support, we'll get you to 1,000, we'll get you to, you know, 10,000, whatever. And if you can throw a like in, tell me that you like the video or you like the stream, that would be amazing. And then I'll know that I'll keep doing these. Hopefully in the next sort of 5 to 10 days, the streams are going to become like more involved with other people, because that's what I'm hoping, that's where I want to go. I don't want these streams to be about me and my thoughts. I want to bring a world of creative people into this stream and show you guys what's out there, because some of the stuff is just incredible. And yeah, it certainly needs promoting in the world. Some more positive stuff needs promoting. With that, I'm going to sign off. Thanks for listening, and yeah, it's been a real pleasure today. I'll catch you tomorrow. Have a good one. Ciao.